Welcome to the Here's the Deal channel. I really appreciate you being here. If you haven't done so already, take a second right now, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so that you can be alerted anytime I upload a video. Let's take a look at and analyze this classic First Amendment audit. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. This video right here from Adam KOKESH is something that it's an audit. It's a First Amendment audit and display of an individual who is super knowledgeable about what the First Amendment says and has the balls to actually stand up against the authorities for his rights. This is one of the best audits I've ever seen because it's so complete, it's so thorough. The authorities, the gun-grabbing authorities, the Capitol Police and Washington's District of Criminals look so bad in light of the oath that they took to protect and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. It shows so succinctly and so obviously that they've become the very domestic enemies that they promised to protect the people from, that it was hard for me not to do this video right here. So I want to do a reaction on this, and I want to get your guys' take on it. This is one of those videos that should literally have 25, 30, 45 million views. It only has 2.5 million views. It's been out since April 15th, 2013. And let's just go ahead and dive into this. This is from Adam KOKESH's channel, from, YouTube channel named Adam KOKESH.
Any good reactions here?
Oh yeah, we've had some people who never considered taxation as theft. It's really exciting to get people to just consider that sometimes.
Good luck.
Check this out, Lucas. We have the attention of the United States Parks Police. What can I do for you, officer?
Unless you had a permit for the sidewalk, you can interview people on the street as much as you want. All right.
So the issue is the structure of the monopod being on the sidewalk.
No, it's just the filming. On
the sidewalk a public place?
36 CFR 7.96. Unless you
36 CFR, whatever he just said, in his mind, is the supreme law of the land, not the Constitution of the United States, which this guy took an oath to protect, defend, and preserve.
You have a permit from the National Park Service to commercially film on their property, then just step it down the sidewalk. I don't have any other issue. You can interview people down here. It's from here to there. All right.
We're just independent citizen journalists exercising our First Amendment rights, and we believe that we have
breaking news coverage, sir. That's the policy.
Well,
that's the law.
It's breaking right now. There's a United States Park Police officer harassing an independent journalist for exercising his First Amendment rights. That's breaking news, don't you think?
I'm not harassing you. I'm asking you nicely if you had a permit. You said no. I'm advising you of the law, which I'm sure you know.
Well, I do have a permit, actually. It's the First Amendment to the Constitution.
That is an awesome response, but think about it. I'm not harassing you. Anytime a badged law enforcement agent of the state comes to you with a firearm saying you're breaking a law, and there's supposed to be law enforcers, there's the implied threat of force all over the place on that. Actually, this is a threat, as he says it isn't a threat. I love what Adam KOKESH said right there, that this right, I do have a permit. It's called the First Amendment, and you swore to protect, defend, and uphold it, and you're kind of waffling on that right now.
Okay, do you have one from the National Park Service, sir?
The Park Service doesn't recognize the Constitution? Well, I guess that makes sense.
I'm not going to get into this back and forth with you. Do you have a permit from the National Park Service to film on National Park Service property?
Do you have evidence that we are commercially filming?
Is it commercial?
Do you have evidence?
Is it going up on YouTube?
Do you have evidence that what we are doing is a commercial exercise?
All right. We're done. If you want to continue on the sidewalk, continue. You'll be in violation. Okay.
Of the CFR.
36 CFR 7.96.
That is a threat. If you continue this course, you will be in violation with our CFR, even though KOKESH and his film crew and nobody filming on the sidewalk is in violation of the First Amendment freedom of press. Let's just get that straight right now.
Have a good day, Mr. KOKESH.
Ah, I knew his name.
So what do you want to do, Luke? Do you want to keep filming on the sidewalk?
Alright, so we're gonna pan here. This isn't even a...
They're filming on the sidewalk.
All of these.
And they're filming on the sidewalk.
Yep.
And that guy's filming on the sidewalk. That guy's filming on the sidewalk.
This is Adam KOKESH reporting unlawfully from in front of the White House, thanks to a clear violation of the First Amendment by the Parks police officers you see standing behind us. Apparently, we are already in violation of the regulation quoted by one officer and subject to arrest as well now for disobeying the orders of an officer. That's right, we could be arrested at any time standing right here filming while we're surrounded by tourists with cameras filming on their own behalf. But
the hypocrisy and irony in this whole thing couldn't even be more stark.
You mean I can get arrested for this?
yeah, Lucas. Okay, well, it appears now that my cameraman standing off the sidewalk is not liable for arrest, but, oh, and now we see the lovely Parks police officers coming over to join us. Why don't you pan around, Lucas?
This is fantastic,
and see what's going on here. Maybe we can get an interview with one of the officers themselves. This would be very exciting. How you doing, sir?
I'm Sergeant D'Onofrio with the United States Park Police. Please don't stick that in my face. Thank you. Just giving you 1 second warning. If you were up on the sidewalk, you need a permit to film on the sidewalk.
Look at the show of force. Okay, so now we got the sergeant, a minion. That's number 3. I think there's number 4 behind him. Number 5. Now you got 5 armed Capitol Police agents of Washington's District of Criminals telling a private individual in a public space who happens to be recording, like a lot of other private individuals are doing, that they're in violation of a CFR, but not in violation of the First Amendment. This is classic.
My officer is very clear of that.
Is it public space?
Yes, it's a public space, but you're performing a commercial enterprise on a public space, which requires a permit.
The First Amendment doesn't apply there without permission, you're saying?
You need a permit. That's all I'm saying. You're off the sidewalk now. You're not in violation.
Did you swear an oath to the Constitution when you took this job as a United States Parks Police officer, sir?
That's irrelevant, sir. I'm merely stating...
Your oath is irrelevant? The Constitution is irrelevant? Which is it, sir?
Sir, the only thing I'm here to discuss is the fact that you need a permit to be on that sidewalk. You're off the sidewalk now. If you go back on the sidewalk, you will be arrested.
Well, I was...
Before we go on with this, I want to point out something that's I'm sure obvious to everybody. Adam KOKESH is staying calm. He's using his knowledge. He's using rationality and logic to engage with this law enforcement officer. And he's using a law that he knows that this law enforcement officer, this sergeant, and all of his minions swore to protect, defend, and uphold. The person who has the high moral ground here, and it's undisputable, is Adam KOKESH. And the people who are being cowardly agents of the state who are trying to violate individual rights are clearly the park police.
Actually here to discuss all the various ways in which our government is so grossly outside of the bounds of the Constitution. I'm so glad that you came and give me a real life example right here of a government that's out of control, not even having respect for basic First Amendment journalist rights.
For a second time.
We're done. Thank you.
No comment. What about your oath, sir? Did you swear an oath to the Constitution? Gentlemen, what about you? You swear an oath to the Constitution when you took your job with Parks Police as a law enforcement officer in the United States? Did you just agree to walk away from people who want to talk to you? This is how you treat a citizen, civilian, just looking for answers from a police department? I've been advised, and now I got a question. I want to talk to you. You don't want to talk? You can't talk to a member of the public?
Another good thing about this, this has all the elements of an excellent First Amendment audit. You have 2 cameramen, one cameraman shooting film of the other cameraman and KOKESH, and one cameraman just on, focused on KOKESH, who's trying to engage in an honest, logical dialogue with the park police with a microphone so that he can pick up everything that the law enforcement agent is saying. This is beautifully done.
You can't answer questions, reasonable questions from an independent citizen journalist about law enforcement, about what you're doing here, about your oath to the Constitution?
Film on the sidewalk. I'm not going to be part of your interview. That's it.
Will you take questions from an independent citizen journalist just to talk about what your job is? What about you, sir? You're not available to talk to a citizen who wants to know what's going on, what you're doing here?
You can speak to the PIO if you want to interview.
No comment.
I can speak to the PIO, but I want to talk to you. I want to talk to the guys actually here on the street that are actually the ones that, if I were to do something that violated the limits that you want to put on the First Amendment here, would be the ones actually grabbing me, handcuffing me, doing whatever it is that you got to do to detain me.
Right now, you're good.
Well, I know I'm good right here. Okay, well, so then let's talk. What do you think about your oath to the Constitution?
I've advised you of the rule and the regulation. That's all I'm here to do.
Do you believe that that regulation is constitutional?
Rule. Okay. I don't interpret them. I enforce them.
And what you just saw is a classic case of psychological cognitive dissonance. This guy knows what is right. He knows what his oath is, and he knows he's violating it, but he's looking for a justification. And anytime you have a justification in the minds of an agent, the mind or minds of agents of the state, you have an expansion of state power. These people know they're doing wrong, even according to their own oath. They are breaking the very fabric of what they're supposed to be as men, and therefore they portray themselves to the world. Anybody who's a rational, sentient individual knows that they're being spineless, that they're being cowardly, that they're being hypocritical, and this is the height of irony and hypocrisy.
Okay?
Now, if you were given a rule to enforce that you knew was unjust or contradicted your oath to the
Go back
Constitution,
to the sidewalk.
you would just enforce without
If you have
question?
any other questions, you can speak to PIO. Thank you, sir.
So you think your regulations trump the Constitution? No comment on that, of course. Sergeant, are you available, Sergeant? Because I'm a citizen with some concerns here, and it seems to me that the regulation you're attempting to enforce. I will respect your space, sir, but I think that
As
this.
he stated, if you wish to do an interview, you need to contact our public information officer.
Well, you're the one right here making the decision about whether or not I get arrested for filming on the sidewalk.
You're not
So,
on the sidewalk.
right, but I get to talk to you, right, as a citizen, talking to a law enforcement officer.
Talk back.
So this regulation that you're talking about here that says independent citizen journalists or anybody filming, if they're Adam KOKESH or if they have a bigger camera following them than all the little cameras that people are filming with there, that for someone in my situation, the First Amendment doesn't apply?
No comment, sir.
So
He doesn't even have to comment, because basically what he just said by his words earlier, about 3 or 4 minutes earlier, and what he's doing by his actions right now, actually amen what Adam KOKESH just said. That's right. The First Amendment doesn't apply to you because we say it doesn't. They've taken a position that's above the First Amendment that they swore to protect, uphold, and defend.
did you take an oath to the Constitution when you took this job?
No comment, sir.
Why are you twitching?
No comment, sir.
Are you nervous?
No comment.
Do you have a problem actually honoring your oath to the Constitution? Do you have a problem honoring your word in general? Is this something that makes you uncomfortable?
No comment, sir.
This is a disgrace. This is the state of law enforcement in America today. This is what it's come to. And I don't want to single out this officer. Sir, I'm sure you're a great guy. I'm sure as an individual, you're a fine gentleman. But you can see how you're in a difficult spot here.
No comment, sir.
No comment.
This is an order follower. This is what we always talk about a conformist versus a moralist. A conformist just does what he's told regardless of what is right. These guys know that what they're doing is not right. They're not being moralists, doing what is right regardless of what they're told. And what KOKESH is doing is putting them on blast, putting them on notice, shining the spotlight on the darkness of what they're actually doing. The conduit through which most evil enters the world are law enforcers who just do what they're told regardless of what is right. This is just my job. I'm just following orders. I didn't write the laws. I'm just enforcing them. This is what's wrong with the world.
I'm sure you're a good guy. This isn't about you personally. But you see the incentive system that's been created in the position that you've been put in by the government, by the system here, where you are an enforcer of unjust laws. You have sworn an oath to the Constitution, and you take a paycheck every day to come out here and violate individual rights or enforce edicts, enforce regulations that violate that basic Constitution that you swore an oath to.
No comment, sir.
You're not unique in this. But, sir, I really hope that we can do something to, at very least, improve the state of law enforcement in America. And we don't end up with people like you in difficult positions like this trying to enforce laws that you know are wrong. Thank you for your time, sir.
You're welcome.
You're going to shake hands at the end of a conversation, just polite to say, I appreciate that? The other officer did. Not a standard of courtesy.
Wow.
Sad. Adam versus the man renegade recording crew at the White House also requires the presence of law enforcement horses' asses.
Probably one of the single greatest audits. This was done back in 2013. Props to 2013. Yeah. Adam KOKESH from the Adam KOKESH channel. If you haven't, go over there and let them know what you think about this. I will leave a link to the original video. If you want to sidestep all my comments, the original video will be in the description and in the pinned comment. Let me know what you thought about this. Let me know what you think Adam could have done to improve this, because to me, it had all the elements of a great audit, which brings out the fact that law enforcers have no problem trampling the rights that they swore to protect and defend. And that is one of the single greatest problems with our country, because if we had law enforcement agents out there who were truly defending and protecting and championing the cause of your rights, we wouldn't have banksters ruling the roost. We wouldn't have the IRS domestic terror cell doing whatever they wanted to. We wouldn't have the corporate elites running roughshod over the rest of us. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought, please, in the comments section below.